It's time for our next type lock challenge, and today I've decided to go for the fire type. The fire type is notoriously thin on the ground in the Johto games, so on screen now we have a graphic showing every single Pokemon we will have available to us, and it's not much. We've got Growlithe and Arcanine, who are available fairly early on. Ponyta and Rapidash will be available after we've got Waterfall. Magby and Magmar may be our odd egg encounter, otherwise it's going to be all the way in Silver Cave for those. Eevee's going to be available via Bill at Goldenrod City. Cyndaquil's obviously going to be the starter for this particular challenge. Slugma and Magcargo, as well as Houndour and Houndoom, are available post-game in Kanto. And then finally we have our two Fire-type legendaries available. Entei's going to be roaming around Johto, and Ho-Oh will be in the Tin Tower. And with that, we are ready to get into this Nuzlocke. Let's see exactly how we get on. So the first thing we need to do is set our options here at the PC. We're going to say yes to Nuzlocke mode, we're also going to say yes to catching just the fire type. Now if you did miss it in the last Nuzlocke video, if you come over to this PC here, you have an option to randomise the starters. Because we are playing with the fire type, this left-hand ball will always be Cyndaquil. The other two will be almost anything though. We've got Charmander, so that is another option we could Nuzlocke. Or there is Houndoom as well. Now I'm going to be going for Cyndaquil, but regardless of which of the three starters you pick, the Nuzlocke patch is smart enough to know that we are Nuzlocking the fire type, so it will always assign the water type starter to the rival. Say if we're running a type like the rock type, it will randomly then choose between either Chikorita or Totodile for the rival. You won't know until you get into that first rival battle. So let's now grab our starter. We're going to get Cyndaquil, of course. We're going to call it Quilliam, as we did in the challenge run, and thank goodness it's a male one. If we had a female Cyndaquil, then it would have just 0 or 1 in physical attack, and that really would not serve as well, especially at the start of this Nuzlocke challenge. And do remember, you get asked by this guy if you want the level cap, and with that we have our level cap in place and the Nuzlocke can begin. And of course, the first battle in any Nuzlocke that really matters is the first rival battle. I've got myself up to level 9 to give us the best chance of getting through. It's not too much grinding. And Scratch is still dealing a fair amount of damage, you know. We critical hit though to get through very, very quickly. Or we can now head back towards the lab and we can start naming our rival, and that's when the Nuzlocke will officially begin. The Nuzlocke doesn't begin until you get the Pokeballs, but we had no issues on the way there. So let's now chat with Professor Elm to get all the info about that egg we won't care about for any of the rest of this Nuzlocke challenge, and then we'll start heading towards Violet City. Our first encounter is going to be before the gym in Violet City, but we've got a long way to go to get there. We've got to get through a couple of routes, so I will skip ahead and meet you when we're ready to catch our Growlithe. It took us some time, but we finally have a Growlithe. Now this thing has Roar, which is going to be terrible for us, but we've caught its first ball, so we don't need to worry about its fleeing. We're going to call it Pup, because it is a cute little puppy at the moment, and it's going to be a great addition to the team, and it's also holding a Burnt Berry. That would be great if we came up against an Ice-type move before Pryce, but something tells me that item's going to be a little bit surplus to requirements. Now there's absolutely no way that Growlithe is going to be able to survive anything in Falkner's gym at the moment, so we're going to get it up to level 9. The Candy Jar doesn't come into play until after you get your first gym badge. I did want there to be at least a little bit of grinding in the early game to make it feel more true to a Nuzlocke, and Growlithe is in the slow experience group, so it's going to take quite some time, so I will meet you when we're level 9 and ready for the gym. I decided to kill 2 flies with 1 hit and take on Sprout Tower at the same time. This is where you get the Lantern as well as the Flash HM. The Lantern works just like the Flash HM, and you also get the Escape Rope up here. The Escape Rope goes into the key items pocket and it is infinite use. Think of it like the G-Escape Rope from Generation 8. I wanted to try and have an analogue for every single one of the field moves that's available in Johto, just to try and make things a little bit more convenient. Now it is time for the gym. We will see how we get on against Falkner. We had no issues with the gym trainers, so we are on to Falkner himself. This is a very tricky battle for the fire type, but I'm going to give you a spoiler. This video's been made, so we obviously get through. At this point, I've lost count of how many times I have got back to this point in the game trying to get this fire-type Nuzlocke done. It really is brutal having Mud Slap so early on in game, especially when one accuracy drop seems to do so much against you. We have got the Pidgeotto down now. I'm going to swap into Quilliam and I just hope that Tackle can hit. A very nice crit there means we have finally got through. I am out of Zephyr Badge Purgatory at long flaming last. Thank you, Falkner, for the badge. The level cap has gone up. Let's heal up. You two both deserve this heal. I am going to get myself over to Azalea Town where things should hopefully be a little bit easier. I will meet you all when we're there. And now everybody has been beaten up in between here and Bugsy, including the Rockets and the gym trainers. So there's one thing left to do, and that's to get everyone up to level 16. I say everyone, it's just 2 Pokemon. It's Quilliam, who now has a Fire-type move at long last. We also get a lovely evolution into Quilava. That's going to be quite big, actually. And, of course, we've still got the Pup on the team as well. Pup really has carried through this section. I'm going to put on a safety PlayStation Network Cure Berry on both of them, and we will engage Bugsy in battle. I really cannot see any issues here. We've got the type advantage over him. We can start thinking already about that dreaded Rival 2. I think, once again, Pup's going to be the one to carry through Rival 2, because we're going to have Bite on the learn set, and that should do a fair amount of damage. As we expected, Bugsy's easy. We've got the Fire type. There's nothing he can do there. We get Fury Cutter, which we aren't going to use. Instead, we're going to go into the Pokemon Center, and then we will take on Rival 2 in battle. This is one of those dangerous-ish battles, I'm going to call it this time. Let's see exactly how we get on. Now, there is one thing I forgot to do before engaging the rival in battle. We're going to get everyone up to level 20, try and get that little bit of an extra advantage for this particular battle. It is a very, very tricky one. So Pup is up to 20, we'll get Quilliam up to 20 as well, hit the next level cap, and we'll see how we get on. Now, you may notice that NPC in the background jumps back and forth a little bit. I'm doing a live voiceover for this challenge, so if I mess up my words before I've made a move in battle, I'm going back and doing a retake, so sometimes it's not quite as smooth as I would like, but I will never select a move until I'm happy with the words I've said up until that point, and if something goes wrong in battle, I've just got to deal with it. Right, let's bite this Garcia. It goes down in one shot. Here comes Croconaw. We outspeed. Water Gun deals fair amount of damage, but we've got our second lucky critical hit of this particular challenge. I'm going to go for one bite against the Zubat. Bite does nothing. We are absolutely fine, and we are through the second rival battle. I'm now going to go through the forest. It's a very boring place, and I'll meet you on Route 34, where we're going to get our next Pokemon. And there's only one option here, it's going to be Magby. The question is whether it will be shiny or not. Now, the same rules apply to the odd egg as they do for any old route. I can keep re-rolling until I get my first valid Pokemon. In this case, it's going to be Magby. It's either going to have 0 DVs across the board if it's not shiny, or it's going to have the worst possible DVs if it is shiny. So I'm going to spend some time and I will let you know when we've got it. And now, I know the Pokemon I've got in the egg is Magby, because the beauty of this overlay is I get a little preview in the top left-hand corner when I swap Pokemon out. I don't know if it's shiny or not, so I'm going to go through Goldenrod, and hopefully we will be able to find out together whether it's a shiny Magby or just a regular old, normal, plain, boring Magby. I'm really hoping for the shiny Magby, and we'll find out together right about now. Shiny or not shiny, that is the question, and we have got a shiny one. We're going to call it Bumhead like we always do with our Magmar, even if it does take up to level 30 for it to get its Bumhead. And now we will head into the department store where we've got some shopping to do because I want to get some TMs. Let's go to this person. We're going to get a Headbutt TM, and then we are going to get a couple of Thunder Punches. Thunder Punch could come in very, very handy. I think it's around about time we did a little bit of an update to the learn set. So we're going to give Headbutt to Quilliam instead of Tackle. Tackle is a terrible move. We're going to give Headbutt to Pup as well. I think it's going to come in very handy. Probably, you know, over Roar. We're not going to use Roar. It's a decreased priority move. And while we're at it, it's only 2,000 Pokédollars. We might as well get a third one. We don't want our Bumhead feeling left out. We're going to then get Thunder Punch. It should be available on just Bumhead at the moment, which is going to come in very handy for all of those pesky water types. And now it's time to take on Whitney. I really don't want to do this battle again. I'm never ever confident about taking her on. It is one of the hardest battles in any Nuzlocke. We are going to send Quilliam to the front because Quilliam has smoke screen, so we're going to try and jank her AI in order to stop the rollout. but I'm procrastinating. Let's see how we get on. This is Whitney, our third gym leader together. She's a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. Clefairy's bad enough because of metronome, but the cow is going to be brutal. So I really think our best option is to lower the accuracy of this cow as much as possible and hope for the best. Smokescreen's going to get her accuracy very, very low. I'm going to risk one more, and then we're going to go into Bumhead to try and paralyse her. Stomp's 100% accurate, so of course it will hit quite often. The paralysis would be huge though. Really taking a risk here. Do we want to risk one more? Yes, we do, and it has paid off. We can do it. We just need to hit Thunder Punch. She misses, and we have knocked the cow out. I cannot believe we got through that battle without any losses. I risked that last Thunder Punch fully expecting that our Magmar would not survive, but we just about scraped through, and that's one of the hardest Johtonian gym battles done. I was fully expecting to lose Magby there, which wouldn't have been the worst in the world, because of course we do have Typhlosion that's going to cover much of the same niche later on, but I am very happy to still have it. That means we have backup options. Now the next place we're going to go to is Ecruteak City. We're going to do the Kimono Girls, and then we are going to Candy Jar all our way up to level 25. And I thought I would do the last Kimono Girl on camera. This is Kuni. She does have a Vaporeon, so this, you know, could be a very tricky battle. Critical hit helps there though. We can just knock it out. Shows what I know. Level 22 now for the Bumhead. Very, very happy with that. We'll get ourselves Surf, and we do also have some other bits and bobs we need to do before we take on the rival. So let's get on the bike. The first thing I'm going to do is have a little chat with Sunny of Sunday. He is, of course, going to give us the magnets. That will be helping us out an awful lot when it comes to our electric type moves. Now, one thing you may have noticed there is we didn't have that black flash when the shiny Pokemon was sent out in battle. That's on purpose, so that we don't have any kind of visual discomfort. Now, we did battle Alan earlier, and he gives us a Firestone once we get his phone number, so we'll get his phone number, and then we'll start the trek back to Newbark Town, where we will speak to the mum, do the trick, and hopefully get a call saying we have a Firestone. Goodness me, that was a long trek back. We're going to do the mum trick now, so we say no to money, yes to daylight savings, and we have a call. Now, I'm going to save state on this because it turns out that it isn't this screen that determines what your phone call is. It's when you press A or B from this screen. So he's asking us, are we raising our Pokemon probably this time? But if we go back and we do a different one, you can see he's offering a battle. Now he's talking about his Tangler, and eventually we will get the call. There we go, we get the Firestone call. So that means we can now go back all the way onto his route and get the Firestone. We're going to use the Rentalabra here to save a little bit of time, and we will then head back towards Goldenrod City, where we're going to get our next Pokemon. So thank you, Alan, for the Firestone. I'm going to keep your number because I do want a second one, just in case we need it later. And now we are going to head all the way back to Goldenrod, where I'm going to have a little chat with Bill, because I do believe that Bill will have something that we will want. So where does Bill live? I always forget that. It's not here, it's the next one, isn't it? And I think he's in, not that, that's the Goldenrod Underground. Goodness me, there we go. Here is Bill, and he's saying, do us a favour, okay, and take this Eevee. It came over while adjusting the time capsule. He doesn't like being outside, we will take it, and this is going to be our fourth party member. We're going to call it Stevie the Eevee. And we are instantly going to be evolving this thing. This is going to become a Flareon. The rules are that we have to play with a Flareon, so let us get that Firestone out and let us use it on Stevie. I want to keep Papa's a Growlithe a little bit longer. However, we are instantly going to use the Firestone on the Flareon, and we will also use the Candy Jar to get it up to speed. It's only missing a couple of levels, and we'll do everyone else at the same time. Quick Attack, yes please, instead of Tackle. Stevie's not got the greatest learn set at the moment. I think this is going to be one where it's going to be a bit of a slow burn. Quick Attack on Quilliam, no thank you. However, we will keep candying up as well. I don't think we actually get any interesting moves. Watch as I know get proven wrong by one of the other two last Pokemon. Nothing on Pup. And then on the Bumhead, we get Smokescreen. We've already got Smokescreen on one Pokemon. I'm not going to do it on both. But now it is time to make our way into the Burnt Tower, where we're going to face the rival for a third time. I'm not foreseeing any issues at all here at Rival 3. It's a very easy battle. Croconaur's dropped right off by this point. He is, of course, going to lead with Haunter, which can curse us, but I think even a curse and a crit will not matter here. We'll swap to Thunder Punch for the Croconaur. We knock it out in 2 shots, taking some curse damage, and 21 HP is more than enough for us to survive. We'll use another Thunder Punch on the Zubat. The last Pokemon is Magnemite. We'll swap to Fire Punch. It goes down in 1. And we are through the rival, and we can now do our favourite thing of falling through the floor. And what's that? We've ended up in front of Morty, our dual Ghost and Poison type spectacular gym leader who's going to lead with Ghastly. I would never have guessed that. You know what, we might as well take him on while we're here. I'm not seeing too many issues with Morty. Maybe the Gengar could prove to be a little bit problematic. But we'll start off with the Ghastly and knock it out in a single Fire Punch. Haunter comes out to play. Fire Punch takes it deep into the yellow and then it knocks itself out. Gengar could be an issue though. I'm going to swap into Pup and hope that Hypnosis doesn't hit. It did. Let's see, it didn't hit us this time. Hits us 3rd time, and that means we're going to have to switch back into Bumhead. Not sure if Bumhead is going to outspeed. We will soon find out. The answer is no, and suddenly 2 of our Pokemon are asleep. I don't even think Stevie's got anything to hit this thing with, but what we can do here is we can hit it with some sand, or we can just get sent to sleep. Let's try Quilliam and hope that Hypnosis misses. We only have Ember really here. It's not the best move in the world, but it's doing the job we need it to do, and we just about get through. There's one last Haunter. Nightshade will be hurting us, but we should be in the clear now. And that is Morty all done and dusted, and we get the Fog Badge, and our level cap now increases all the way up to 30. So we'll heal up, and then we will start thinking about what we want to do next. Let's also use the candy jar and get everybody up to 30 while we're at it. We will be seeing a lovely evolution from the Bumhead at level 30. It'll be goodbye to Magby and hello to Magmar in its place with that hideous shiny. I kind of want to lose to Magmar now. That is one of the worst shinies I have ever seen. It's just neon pink straight out of the 80s. Pup's obviously not going to evolve, but we could get Takedown, which we're going to ignore because it's a Nuzlocke. We're going to get Pup up to 30, still waiting for a decent Fire-type move on that. And we're waiting for anything that's not a normal type attacking move on Stevie. Bite would have been really handy for the last gym, Stevie, but better late than never. We will get rid of Growl because we're never going to use that. And now we're going to start heading towards the Lake of Rage. And here we are at the lake. The first thing we're going to do is get ourselves Hidden Power, and then we're going to have to do the Walk of Shame back. We don't have Fly yet, and I don't want to be leaving this area of the lake because I want to do the Red Gyarados while we're here. We should have no problems. We've got Thunder Punch, and that Gyarados does not have any Water-type moves. It's a rarity that we actually go back this way. I can't remember the last time I took this route back. Let's get those repels up to tippy top spot while we're at it as well. We're going to be using a lot of repels in this Nuzlocke. Let's now get into the lake. We're going to beat up the Gyarados, and then we're going to head towards Mahogany Town. And that's because we're going to be taking on Pryce as our 5th gym leader. It's very rare we do that, but I think we'll be more than capable, and he's definitely the easiest of the 3 we've got available to us. Of course, that does mean I've got to do the rocket section, so I'll meet you when it's all done. I can tell you why it's called the Lake of Rage. It's because they know the section coming up is going to be bloody infuriating to most players. But now it's time for our 6 gym leaders together. This is Pryce, the Ice-type specialist who leads with Seal. We've got Thunder Punch. Icy Wind's going to do next to nothing at all. We knock it out in 2. Dugong comes out to play. Thunder Punch takes off half. The next Thunder Punch is going to take it all the way down to the red, especially because he's rested. And that just leaves Piloswine left to go. Will Fire Punch take it deep into the red? He gets caught in a healing loop now. It's all over for Pryce. And that is our next gym badge, the Glacier badge. And we can move on towards our next gym leader together. Level cap's gone all the way up to 35. That is Jasmine's level. And I tell you what, we're going to be taking her on next. And to show you how confident I am about this Jasmine battle, I'm not even going to get up to the level cap. I want a fair fight with Chuck. I just want the defense boost from this badge. It's going to be a one-shot on Magnemite with Fire Punch. Out comes the Steelix. It's going to be a 2-shot, probably. Rock Throw misses. It's all over for Jazz from here. That was the best possible outcome. We grow to 31 with the Bumhead. The last Magnemite comes out. We knock it out, and that is Jasmine all defeated, and that is the Mineral Badge. Let's now get ourselves over to Cyanwood City, where Chuck is going to wait for us. I know it feels very, very weird to say this, but it's time for our 7th gym leader, Chuck, the fighting type specialist who leads with Primeape. This could be a fairly tricky battle. I'm going in at Chuck's level cap to make this as fair as possible. Primeape comes out first, we're going to use Headbutt and we outspeed. Critical hit is very nice, we knock it out in 2. Now we grow to level 32, and here comes the Poliwrath. We outspeed and do a lot of damage. Hypnosis misses, we have it in the bag. That was about as well as it could go. Storm Badge acquired. And that also means we're about to see something incredibly strange. We get the rocket call outside Chuck's gym. Let's, while we're here, go and grab the air balloon and fly off Chuck's wife. That means we now have fast travel, and we're going to get everyone up to Jasmine's level cap. I always do the rocket section at Jasmine's level cap, or as close as possible to it. Sunny Day, absolutely yes please. That is a very, very useful move for coming up later on. We'll get to level 35 on Bumhead. Flame Wheel, yeah, why not? It's better than Ember. Then we may or may not evolve. We might evolve somewhere in the rockets or maybe at the rival with our Quilava. We'll get Pup up to level 34. Flame Wheel again, yes please, instead of Ember. We'll get 35 on that. And then Stevie, are you going to learn a Fire-type move? I very much doubt it. I've played the Flareon run. We are still stuck without a Fire-type move for Stevie. Right, our rocket section abound. I'll meet you for the Rival 4. And here we are in Goldenrod's Underground, where it's time to take on the Rival for a 4th time. This time he's going to lead with Golbat, so we're going to use a Headbutt to try and get the flinch. Didn't work, but I was predicting that I would have to switch here into Bumhead anyway. I didn't want to lead in case we got confused and Thunder Punch wasn't a one-shot. We'll knock out Bumhead. Out comes for Alligator next, as you would expect. Thunder Punch does a lot of damage. Water Gun barely tickles us like it always does. We grow to 36, and here comes Haunter. We'll start off with a Fire Punch. It knocks itself out with Curse, but that does mean we are cursed now for the rest of the battle. Let's get Quilliam back out. We have been paralysed, which isn't great. We're going to try a single Flame Wheel there. That goes down straight away. The last Pokemon, Sneasel. Sneasel's practically passive, so it doesn't really matter if we get fully paralysed a couple of turns in a row. We'll grow to level 36, and we have defeated the rival, and we get our evolution. So it's goodbye to Quilava and hello to Typhlosion. He doesn't understand, well, he just needs to get good. Let's get out of here because we need to heal, and we'll take this opportunity, you know, to take a look at our hidden power types for all 4 of our Pokemon. That's something we've neglected to do in this one, and it could come in handy for Clair if we have either hidden power Dragon or hidden power Ice. So that NPC lives up here on the 2nd floor of the Pokemon Center. Psychic for our Quilliam. Let's check the Stevie the Eevee. That has Still. That's neither use nor ornament, I've got to be honest. What does the Shiny Odd Egg have? It's Grass. Oh. Pup, you're our only hope. What do you have? Poison. Rubbish. Right, we'll have to find a better way to defeat Clair. I'll meet you when we're ready. If there's ever a gym where we're going to lose a team member, it's going to be Clair's gym, and I am going full high risk, high reward. So this is Clair. She is our 8th and final Jotonian gym leader, a Dragon-type specialist who leads with Dragonair. First thing we're going to do is set up an attract and hope it doesn't hit us. We'll set up a Sunny Day and Thunder Wave has now hit. Then we're going to start rolling out. We're going to play full Whitney strategies against this Clair battle. See if that does anything at all. Rollout should build and build and build. Not quite enough to one-shot the Kingdra, but we have hit, and that is the big threat gone. We can now start thinking about setting up another rollout, hopefully. Nope, that's not the play. Let's see what we've got. Bumhead I didn't mean to switch into here. Absolutely fine though, because we can set up a Sunny Day in case we need it. Let's try a Headbutt here, see how much or little that does. Not a lot. Thunderwave is fine. We can then get rid of this Dragonair. Last Dragonair is still to come. We're going to swap into Stevie the Eevee now. Well, I should say Stevie the Flareon. Let us use a Headbutt, see if we can get the flinch. We didn't, but we win. Goodness me, that was a stroke of genius, even if I do say so myself. The only way we were going to get through that is by doing the rollout strategies. I am so happy about that. That means we have a full team, or as full as we can, for the Pokemon League. And now it's just a mere formality of answering a teeny tiny survey, and we will get our next gym badge. It is of course 11212, the standard way of answering this particular quiz. Claire gets a little bit surprised, but we do now have the Rising badge, and that will bump up our level cap ready for Rival 5. Of course, before the level cap goes up, we do have to get the TM from Claire, and now we can start thinking about heading towards Route 26. On Route 26, we are going to get another encounter. It's been a while since we've had one, so I'll meet you when we're out of Tojo Falls. And here we are on Route 27. I'm going to go for the encounter on Route 26 just because I said Route 26 in the voiceover earlier, but it really doesn't matter either way. Our guaranteed encounter for this particular route is going to be a Ponyta. Ponyta's not a bad Pokemon either, so we will absolutely happily add it to the team. And like I mentioned at the very top of this video, it very much is slim pickings. So let's now try and encounter our Ponyta. Could take a little while, I'm not sure on the encounter rate. There are lots of Pokemon here that I would love to have on the party as well. Doduo, Sandslash, even Raticate, all very, very good Pokemon for a Nuzlocke. I am very much excited to do all of the types as well. If there is a type you'd like me to prioritise, please do let me know. I am thinking about combining the Ghost and Dark type Nuzlockes together, just because they share the same offensive capabilities, and there are so few of them in Generation 2. Let me know if you'd rather I split them up though. In the meantime, we have found our Ponyta. We're going to call it Hans, and then we'll get it up to level 40. Going to save the candy jar for the rest of them until after Rival 5. Let's do an unnecessary heal in here, and then let's get the candy jar out. So let's see if we get treated to any decent moves at all in the next 8 levels. Takedown, absolutely not. Hopefully we'll get something better. I do think we evolve at level 40 as well. So you never know, Rapidash might give us something useful, but I do think it gives us Fury Attack, and that's quite frankly terrible for a level 40 move. We'll say no, we'll leave here, and we'll rejoin in the league. When I said I'd meet you in the league, I did of course mean here on Victory Road, where it is time for the 5th and final rival battle. We're going to get a very easy start here. He leads of course with Sneasel Pleasel, that's going to go down to a single Fire Punch. For Alligator's next, still rocking the water gun, so it really does not matter. Didn't get hit anyway, that is a great bit of luck there. We'll use Thunder Punch on the Golbat. We do get confused, which is a little bit annoying, but that just means we'll swap into Bumhead. Wing Attack does next to nothing, we've got Thunder Punch on this thing as well. Up next is going to be Haunter. We'll use a Fire Punch against the Haunter, take it deep into the red. We've been confused, it is burnt though, so we'll just swap back into Quilliam. Quilliam's going to get hit very, very lightly by a Shadow Ball. We are almost at level 42. We'll probably get level 42 actually off this Kadabra. A couple of Fire Punches knocks that out. The last Pokemon's going to be Magneton. We'll hit it with a Fire Punch. Future Sight doesn't even get a chance to hit us. And with that, we have beaten the rival for the last time before the league. So let's now heal up whether we need to or not, and I will do some prep, and I will meet you when we are ready to go into the league proper. And now we are almost ready to take on the league. There's just one last thing we need to do. We need to get everyone up to level 42. We're getting Flamethrower on Bumhead. That is huge. Stevie, I think, may learn Smog, which, Stevie, you need to get your act together. That's a terrible level 42 move. Pup learns Agility at 42. Not a great move. Don't need that. And Hans, what have you got for us? Nothing. So let us now take a look at the team as we're going into the league. We start off with Quilliam the Typhlosion, Bitterberry Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Rollout and Sunny Day. We've got Bumhead the Magmar with a Magnet, Flamethrower, Sunny Day, Headbutt and Thunder Punch. Stevie the Flareon with the Bitterberry, Return Quick Attack, Headbutt and Shadow Ball. And then we've got Pup the Growlithe, Flame Wheel, Bite, Leer and Headbutt. Tail Whip, Ember Stomp and Fire Spin. A very miserable final learn set on our Hans. Right, let's take on Will. Will's a Psychic type specialist who leads with Xatu. And I have very last minute decided I want to change my strategy here. I'm going to give Bumhead a Bitterberry, and we're going to lead with Bumhead because we do have Flamethrower, and Flamethrower is going to be much, much stronger than Fire Punch for the strategy I want to use. So we'll set up the Sun as he uses Psychic. We'll then use a Flamethrower. That is more than comfortably a one-shot. The Sun means that Slowbro's not going to be able to surf. He goes for Amnesia turn 1. We crit on turn 2. Xatu number 2 comes out, let's use another Flamethrower, knock it out in 1. Here comes Jinx, we might as well keep on using Flamethrower. Executor is last, we should be able to one-shot, and we get through Will unscathed, and we can move ourselves on to Koga. We're all healed up, it's time for Koga. Koga is, of course, our second league member, a fighting-type specialist. That's a lie, he's a poison-type specialist who leads with Ariados. Ariados is a one-shot, Fortress is going to be a one-shot as well. I suppose he's getting it out of the way early. Third out is Muck. Let's see, set up the sunny day as he minimalises. Flamethrower hits like a truck. We can do a two-shot as Toxic misses. Crobat's next. Gonna go for Flamethrower over Thunder Punch here, I think. Another Toxic miss. Goodness me, 43. Venomoth's weak to fire. And Bumhead really is showing just how good she is. Let us now heal up that little bit of damage, and I'm going to remember to use the candy jar in the league. We can go all the way up to 46 now, so we might as well get ourselves on an even footing for Bruno. Now, Bruno is really quite dangerous if you're running a fire type, so we're going to have to be very, very careful here. Expect some losses, I would say. I'm not confident at all in this battle. Bruno can do so much to ruin your day. But everybody is up to 46. Hans still hasn't learnt another move. You know what? We're going to put Hans in tippy top spot because of Stomp. Might be able to get something out of it. I have zero plans or strategy for this battle. Just going to throw anything at the wall and see what sticks. Hitmontops first. Going to play for the flinches. Hopefully we get them. Critical hit is very nice. Dig hits us fairly hard, but we should be able to get through with a double crit. Goodness me. On to Onyx. And we get the burn, but he crits. That was such great luck into absolutely abysmal luck. Does mean we can probably set up the sun. He's set up the sandstorm, so we're going to set up the sun again. Earthquake doesn't do too much. We can probably knock this out now with a flamethrower. Sun is huge for the Machamp. Let's see how much damage we do. Rock Slide misses. He's not in healing range. That was perfect. Keep the sun up for the Hitmonlee. The last Pokemon is Hitmonchan. The sun has faded. We are probably able to get through just about, but we did lose Hans. Not wholly unexpected. What I will do is I will move Hans to the bottom of the party. We will rare candy, we'll heal up, probably use some elixirs and ethers as well. Not on Honso, goodness me, that would be a very bad idea. Apparently Pup hasn't done a single move in this, neither has Quilliam, nor has Stevie. It's just been Bumhead all the way through. Bumhead is very, very, very strong. Now, I don't know who to lead for Karen. Probably Bumhead again. So what we'll do is we will do the HP up strategy on Bumhead. Right, let's see how it goes. I bet you all thought I'd forgotten to rare candy, but I haven't. I was having you on this entire time because I just cut it out of the video. We are leading with Bumhead. We're going to get a sunny day up. Feint Attack's great. She didn't go for Sand Attack. Feint Attack 2 turns in a row. Couldn't ask for a better opening here. Gengar's next. Let's use a Flamethrower. Take it out in one. Murkrow comes out to play. Flamethrower hits like a truck. And the next Pokemon is Houndour. We'll use Headbutt against the Houndour as it flinches once. Does it flinch twice? No, it doesn't. Knock it out on turn number 3. The last one is Vileplume. Gonna risk it for a biscuit. Should one-shot. Thank you, Karen. You were remarkably easy. Genuinely didn't think it would be that easy through Karen. Sometimes, though, you just have to play with confidence. Lance, on the other hand, is going to be a completely different matter. Do we have the Magnet? Yes, we do. Couple of strategies we could do for Lance. We could either lead with Stevie, or we could lead with Quilliam, and we could try doing rollout. It's high risk, high reward. It's paid off once, and you never know, it may pay off again. Before we do that, though, we're going to get everybody up to level 50, meet the level cap for Lance, and then we can have a little think about what we want to do. Confuse Ray could be good, but I don't want to lose any of those moves, so I'm going to say no. Confusion isn't the most reliable thing. Pup, do you learn anything yet? Flamethrower, yes please. Goodbye Flame Wheel, and look what I've got in my bag from Schoolboy Alan. We can now evolve into an Arcanine. We have a big doggo just in time for the champion battle. Extreme speed could be very, very, very handy. Gonna get rid of Bite in this situation. We've got no more ghosts coming up. And with that, we are ready to take on Lance. Much like with Clair, anything could happen here. We have the type disadvantage to a lot of his Pokemon. I am going to start a rollout, I think, and see what happens from there. Rollout doesn't hit too hard. Surf hits us very hard back. But all we care about is getting through some of these harder Pokemon. Not going to get hit by Rock Slide. We get the full turn of rollout. And that brings us on to Dragonite number 2. The rain has stopped as well. I'm meant to look at the stats of Stevie there as opposed to actually going to Stevie itself. Let's see how much return does. Around about half, that's great for us. It means we can two-shot. Charizard is next. Right. Let us fish for a flinch. Hyper Beam crits and knocks us out. Oh no, we've lost Stevie. Come on, Bumhead, you can do this. I have every faith. You're going to get 2 turns here. Recharge, 2 turns, knock out that Charizard. We've just got the last Dragonite left to go. Gonna go for Thunder Punch here. It's going to run neutral. We have paralysed it. It gets Safeguard altogether too late. It's locked into Outrage. Are we going to survive? Let's see. No. No, no, no. Pup, save the day, please. Extreme Speed Knockout. That was a little bit devastating, wasn't it? We are through the league now, though. At what cost? We have just our Typhlosion and our Pup. Our 2 initial Pokemon are the 2 we have saved. It did have to happen at some point. We got phenomenal luck throughout most of the league. But we are going to have to say goodbye to a grand total of 3 Pokemon. Let's get them all in the Hall of Fame, though, and I will meet you in the Pokemon Center, where we will say goodbye to the ones we lost. Before we do that, though, we do have a call from Professor Elm. I'm still sad about losing all of those Pokemon. We get the SS ticket from Elm. We are also going to get the Master Ball. If push comes to shove, I will Repel Trick and I will catch Entei as one of our encounters on a route that we've not currently filled. But for now, we do have to get ourselves over to Cherry Grove Pokemon Center, where we are going to say goodbye to 3 Pokemon. So let's open up the PC. We are going to move them all into a box so that I can transfer them up to home later. So it's goodbye to Bumhead. You were such an MVP. Stevie, you did great in the battles you were needed. And Hans, well, you were there. It wasn't your region really, love. Let's move it into the box, and now let's head over towards Kanto. Much like the Water-type Nuzlocke, we're going to start off with Janine, and then we'll do a little bit of catching before taking on any of the other gym leaders. We've got 2 encounters as far as I'm aware here in Kanto, but we're going to start off with Janine. We'll one-shot her Crobat. Up next is Weezing. We'll use Fire Punch on the Weezing, take it down in 1. Third up's another Weezing, and then she's going to have 2 bug types to finish off this battle. Both are going to be very, very simple. Quilliam did get a couple of levels just doing all of the bits and pieces around Kanto. There's our first Cantonian gym badge from Janine. We get TM06 as well. Toxic could come in handy, maybe question mark later on. But for now, we're going to go straight onto Route 18. On Route 18, we can get our next encounter. Of course, we have to battle this Birdkeeper first. I think you've got Dodrio, but it's been a very long time since I battled you. There's 2 Doduo. Do you have triple Doduo, or do you have a Dodrio? Yes, you do have a Dodrio as well. Nice free stat experience there. Now we can try and catch our Pokemon. It is going to be a Slugma. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to find it. Grimer's almost like a Slugma. Kind of the same body shape, but it's not what we're after. Hopefully we'll get a male Slugma as well. That is part of the plan. Part of the plan, rather. Let's see now how long it takes. If it takes too long, I will skip ahead to where we get the encounter, because goodness me, it's a very low encounter rate here on Route 18. Turns out it's a daytime only encounter for Slugma. I never knew that. Let us now try and catch this thing. Not going to use the Master Ball on it as much as I would love to. An Ultra Ball is just what we need. Going to call it Gary, of course, because that was the name of our Slugma in our original challenge, not Gars. Gary, there we go. And let's take a little look at that, shall we? It has Ember, Rock Throw, Harden, Amnesia. Amnesia is the important move there. Now we've got to go all the way over to Celadon City next. We've got to change the time, and then we will catch our second and final Cantonian encounter. I've determined to go to apparently I've not been to Celadon yet. Let us go to Saffron instead. Going to change the time to night. Keep it on Sunday because I like playing on Sunday. Nighttime because this is a one route wonder only at night. It is of course going to be Houndour. There we go. Level 18, we don't really have anything too great. We're just going to start eating Pokeballs and hope for the best. And we get it first time. Now I cannot remember what our Houndour's name was. It's been so long. So I'm just going to call it Cerberus and hope it was something quite similar to that. So there is Cerberus, our Houndour. And we have the arduous task now of getting these 2 Pokemon up to a standard level. 53-ish is what I want. I'll get the other Pokemon up, the other pup up to 53 as well while we're at it. Gary learning Flamethrower, yes please, that is all I care about really off Gary. And we get the evolution, so it's goodbye to Slugma, hello to Macargo. Such a soft spot for the Macargo line. It is objectively terrible in every which way, but I really do adore it. Rock Slide, yes please, instead of Rock Throw. And suddenly, Gary is getting pretty stacked move-wise. Level 53. Pup, you get some rare candies as well. And we're going to get another evolution in just a hot second as well. Bite, let's get rid of Raw. We're never going to use Raw. Going to get rid of Smog as well, I'm sure of it. Level 24 is the evolution. Level 4, Houndour into Houndour. So it was short and sweet for the pre-evos. Nice to see them when they were around though. And we just have to get another 20 odd more levels. Feint Attack, let's get rid of Smog. Feint Attack's nice to have in tandem with Bite. One with perfect accuracy, one that can flinch, can justify having two moves of the same type on one Pokemon where they both serve very different niches. Flamethrower, yes please. Now our team is starting to feel a little bit more fleshed out again. So what we can do is we can start thinking about our next gym, and seeing as we haven't been to Celadon yet, why don't we take a visit to Erica there? I think this gym battle is going to be a mere formality. We are going to have the type advantage over all of Erica's Pokemon. She starts off with a Tangela, we're going to outspeed that and we knock it out in one. We grow to level 54 and out comes Jumpluff. We'll use another Fire Punch, it's another one-hit wonder. Third out is Blossom, it's going to be another one hit. Last Pokemon out is Victory Bell, going to be another one shot. We are through Erica first try and we obtain the Rainbow Badge. That's another badge all in the bag. Let's go and take on our next leader. I've decided that Surge is next up on the chopping block. Let's see how this battle goes. Can see it being a little bit more of a fair fight than the others. Raichu comes out to play. How much does a Fire Punch do? It crits to one shot. Electrode number 1 comes out. That's going to be a one shot. We grow to 55 as Electrode number 2 comes into play. Another nice and simple one hit. Electabuzz is next. We are going to use another Fire Punch. Light Screen's fine because the last Pokemon is going to be Magneton. Magneton's got no special defense, even with the Light Screen it goes down. And that is Lieutenant Surge defeated. We're going to go over to our next gym leader, which is actually going to be a trip back to Fuchsia. That's not Fuchsia, this is Fuchsia. Before we do that though, I need to check the hidden power type for our new two catches. We have Gary, who has hidden power Flying. And what does Cerberus have? That's the question, and the answer is hidden power Fire. Oh dear. Right, it's time to take on Fire with Fire. We're going to be fighting Fire with Fire next because it is, of course, going to be time for Blaine. Blaine is the most awkward gym leader to get to out of them all, simply because he doesn't have a fly point associated with him. So you have to surf over there and go round the mountain. Let's now take him on in battle, and I think for this one, we are probably going to run. Let's have a little think. I think we're going to go for Pup, you know. Changed my mind last minute there, as I quite often do in these Nuzlockes. He starts off with a Macargo, not the greatest Pokemon to start off with, as it starts swearing at us, of course, so we are going to have to swap into Quilliam. Short but sweet for the Pup there. Rock Slide does a little bit of damage. Thunder Punch should hopefully take it out, or get very close to doing it. Macargo's done, and up next is the Bumphead Fire Duck, the Pokemon I wish we still had. Gonna swap into Cerberus now to try and take any kind of hit. We can then hit it with a Crunch, that's going to do quite a lot of damage. We are not paralysed. The last Pokemon's Rapidash. Will it outspeed? Yes it will, but it just attacks us furiously. Fire Blast does next to nothing. Blaine through there. Very simple Volcano Badge battle. Let's take on another one. And for this one, there was only really one choice. It's going to be Sabrina. Sabrina's a Psychic type specialist who leads with Espeon, but we have Crunch, and it takes out the Espeon in one shot. Alakazam comes out to play, sets up Reflect, that's absolutely fine. Last Pokemon is Mr. Mime, that's going to survive nothing at all. And Sabrina was very easy, and we can take on yet another gym leader. Let's see who we go for next. And now we really are stuck between a rock and 3 hard places here, so I've decided to do Misty next. We have Thunder Punch, which is at least a super effective move against some of her Pokemon, and we have quite a high level advantage. Combining that with a Magnet might help. Quagsire is going to be the stick in the mud here out of all 3 of them. She uses Rain Dance, we'll counter that with Sunny Day. Quagsire doesn't hit us too hard at all. Sunny Day also means that we knock out Quagsire and we are on to Lapras. And it's got burnt. I didn't know what I was going to say there, but it got burnt. We knock it out. We've only got Starmie left to go, and we're going to use Thunder Punch. We knock it out in one. We had a very, very easy Misty battle. That means it's time for Brock next. Now, I really wish we had 2 Earthquake TMs in this game. I've taught it to Quilliam as much as I wanted to teach it to Gary. That's just because I couldn't justify saving it when I think we need Earthquake on Quilliam to get through this battle. So one shot on the first 2 Pokemon, out comes Omastar, we'll swap to Thunder Punch for Omastar, knock it out in one courtesy of the Magnet as well, no doubt. Onix is next, could hit us fairly hard. Sandstorm, absolutely fine, we'll deal with Sandstorm for a couple of turns. It's not going to do too much because I'm fairly certain we're going to one-shot the Kabutops with a Thunder Punch. Let's see if I'm right. I am. We grow to level 57, we obtain our penultimate gym badge from the Kanto region, and now we can start heading towards Viridian City. Before we take on Blue, there is one important trainer we need to take on. It's time for 3 Drill. It's Bugcatcher Ed with his 3 Drill, or his 3 B Drill rather. We're going to use a trio of Fire Punch against them, and then we'll start making our way through the Viridian Hedge Maze. We will get everybody up to 58 as well in preparation. And we get another call from Alan. We don't need that call from Alan anymore, but I've not deleted him from the phone book. We are going to get there, and then hopefully we'll have a nice and clean battle, and we can start thinking about Red. Accidentally taken on this Bugcatcher as well. It'd be nice to see what he has. Starts off with an Ariados. The second one is nothing. Misread that team there. But now we are in Viridian City. Let's do our heal, let's do our preps for the Blue battle. Because honestly, I think it could be a pretty hecking difficult battle. Start off with the rare candies. Level 58 for Quilliam, still waiting for Flamethrower on that. We know we're not going to get any moves on Pup. What about Gary? Do you learn anything, and is it anything useful? The answer is no. Cerberus, are you going to learn something to save the day? No, you're not. But we are now at 58 for everybody. That means just one thing. It is time, of course, for the Blue battle. I've thought long and hard about who I want to lead with, and we're going with Cerberus here. It's going to give us the best opportunity to get through that pesky Rhydon, at least in half decent shape. We're going to set up the Sun against the Pidgeots, then we'll launch a Flamethrower. That knocks it out in one. We are hoping for a burn here. That will let us survive, or a critical hit, even better. We are now going to swap into Quilliam because we've got Thunder Punch. He's going to do a Hyper Beam. That is perfect for us. It means he's not going to Healing Loop if he survives. The next Pokemon is Alakazam. Let's see, what should we do here? I think the Sun is still up. Maybe it isn't. Psychic hits us. We're going to take it out, and then we are going to have to swap for the Arcanine. Let us think. Who do we want for the Arcanine? Who's going to be best? Maybe Gary, actually. Extreme Speed can do nothing. We've got Rock Slide. If we can hit our Rock Slide, please, Gary. That's all I'm asking you. 3 in a row missed. Raw, fine. We'll use Crunch. That's absolutely fine, even though Extreme Speed hit us very hard. Healing Loop now. Hopefully we can two-shot this thing. Don't think we can. We're going to have to go into Pup. Pup, you're our only hope here. Extreme Speed does nothing. We've got, of course, the leftovers as well, so he can passively heal. And he's on to his next healing item. It's Extreme Speed versus Extreme Speed. We've got a bigger Extreme Speed than his. Last Pokemon is Executor. We'll use Flamethrower. We'll knock it out in one shot. And we are through Blue without losing a Mon. Thank goodness for that. Let us now take a very, very, very well-deserved heal in the Pokemon Center. We're not saying goodbye to anybody, and now we can rare candy all the way up to level 77. Even though the level cap is 81, I want to play at 77, make it fair. His 81 is not fully evolved. And now, as we're coming towards the end of this Nuzlocke and rare candying up, I do just want to give my thoughts about how this one has gone so far. We've had some very devastating losses, but I really don't think the fire type is that bad in Generation 2. Yes, there are very few Pokemon. Yes, there are a lot of obstacles that come up in your way, but I really think we've had a solid team throughout. It may not pack the punch in terms of numbers, but they really do gel very well together. And we've not seen much of Gary yet, but I think the Red battle might be where Gary could shine. He has Amnesia, and most of Red's Pokemon are special attackers. Combine that with the fact that Snorlax's moves are going to be resisted, and Gary could actually make some waves in this battle. We're going to get rid of Harden in favour of a Rock Slide, in Body Slam rather there. Rock Slide is already on the learn set for Gary. I think the problem with Gary is going to be the lack of speed, so I'm half tempted to put the Quick Claw on Gary and give the leftovers maybe to somebody else who has a little bit of bulk behind them. Quilliam was our starter, and it's only apt that they're the last one to get up to maximum level. We finally learned Flamethrower as well. That would have been handy much earlier on, but better late than never. I didn't want to use the tutor in this one. I thought that would make it a little bit too easy. But now as we are up to level 77, there's one thing left to do. That's go and have a little chat with Professor Oak. Like we do in the challenge runs, we're going to cycle there, even though we've got the fly points open. Let's get a rappel on. Let's get ourselves over to Silver Cave after chatting with Oak, and let's start preparing for the final battle of the challenge. Hey Oak, I've filled the decks a little bit more than normal. Are you proud of me? Of course he's not. He sees we understand how to use Pokeballs. Just about. Let us rentalabra our way back over to Viridian City. And now we're going to cycle into Silver Cave, and I'll meet you when it is time to face Red. So it has all come down to this. There's one battle left in the challenge. We're going to be leading with our starter. This is of course Red, and he leads with Pikachu. Let's do it, see how it goes. This is the final trainer of the challenge. It's Red, and he leads with Pikachu. Pikachu should be irrelevant. One Earthquake is enough to knock it out. Second up is Espeon. I'm going to set up the Sun here. We didn't get a Spadef drop there. Let's see how much Flamethrower does. It's enough to knock it out. Third out the blocks is the Blastoise. We're going to use Thunder Punch, take it deep into the yellow. That means we're not hitting with Surf. Let's see how bad Snorlax is going to be now. I'm going to go straight for Earthquake. I don't think there's any sense in trying a special move when he's got Amnesia. And he has, of course, the Rain as well. We are deep into the red and we have lost Quilliam. Right, we can get the easy KO here with Pup. We can just use Extreme Speed. Charizard is next. Let's see how much a Headbutt does. Not a lot, but we do flinch. Do we flinch twice in a row? Yes, we do. 3 times is perfect. There's just Venusaur left to go. Let's swap into Gary, see whether Gary can tank a Solar Beam. He can. That should mean that we knock out with a critical hit, and we have defeated Red. Unfortunately, we did lose our starter in the process, but that is another Nuzlocke all complete. And now as we find ourselves back outside Silver Cave, we will say our final goodbyes to our wonderful starter Quilliam. You were so good throughout the course of this challenge. We would not have been able to do it without you. It's now time for you to get some rest forever and a day, and hopefully we'll meet up again very soon. It's sad to leave it on this note, but that is how this Nuzlocke ended. I will now say thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. If you've enjoyed this one, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more just like this, let me know in the comments down below, and please do subscribe. And until next time, I will say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.